All right, let's see what we got here. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Let's get this a little bit closer. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And the whole idea of helping you to become mentally and emotionally balanced is just so you can attain your highest level of consciousness. Damn, I'm feeling good saying that. I'm wilding from having a good. I just had some good food, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So, okay, let's try this again. Welcome. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here. You already know the name. It's Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And I talked about, just now how I help you to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And the whole idea behind it, pretty much, it's just so you can attain your highest level of consciousness. Now, think about it this way, right? So, when we're talking about attaining the highest level of consciousness, what we're talking about here is to become Christ like, or to become the Krishna, the Buddha, or any, let's just say, supreme being who have attained that level of consciousness. In fact, the very reason why they became who they are is because they have attained that level of consciousness. So therefore, when you're looking at, let's just say, Jesus, um, whoever else you're looking at, they are a representation of attaining that level of consciousness. They pretty much materialize that level of consciousness. But for you to have that, to see the bigger picture, you cannot be one sided. Meaning that's why your emotions have to come in alignment with your mental aspect, right? Like we all know, let's just say if you're depressed right now, you're not going to be in your best state of mind. It's not going to happen. Or if you're not happy, how can you see things clearly, right? So your emotions have a direct impact on your intellect and vice versa. Now, if you choose, let's just say, to suppress your emotions, okay, and this is what a lot of you guys do, but anyway, it's all good. If you choose to do that, well, guess what? You become very rigid, you become very automatic. You're missing out on the small things. You don't take emotions into consideration. I mean, how can you if you just being if you're just acting out of your intellect? And because of that, you do not see the full picture. Vice versa. Now, when I'm talking about being emotionally balanced or how I help you, oh, the things, I mean, when I'm talking about being emotionally balanced, what I'm talking about here is you understanding what your emotions are. But most importantly, or in addition to that, you also, have the ability to identify your emotional patterns. You know, in other words, you're not being triggered without you not knowing. But for you, I mean, being emotionally balanced, you would have to be in touch with your emotions. And just so you guys know, the whole process of you, or if you ever heard of, let's just say, shadow work, that's what that entails. It entails you taking your emotions into account, meaning you would have to pay attention to it to analyze, see what the fuck is taking place emotionally. But for you to do that, you would have to be in touch with it. So, therefore, by having an understanding of what your emotions are, and for you to identify your emotional pattern, at this point, it puts you in a better position to become emotionally balanced. And if you have any blockages, then you are able to actually remove those, transmute them. You are the alchemist, baby. Ain't no stopping you. But ignorance can. So therefore, so when we're talking about being emotionally balanced, that's what we're talking about. Now, in addition, to me helping you to become emotionally balanced, I also help you to be mentally balanced. Now, it's pretty much the same, baseline understanding in terms of if you to be mentally balanced, you need to understand I mean, what the fuck is your mind? How does your mind works? And also you would have to understand how have you been trained to think? Because in reality, when we're truly talking about mind control, contrary to what a lot of people think, they always think it's like people are looking to persuade you to think a certain way. I mean, in certain level, it is. But that's why, if you want to talk about mind control, school is the best mind control ever. Church is the best mind control ever. Because what they're doing, without you even forcing or let's just say resisting, they are teaching you how to think, how to see life. And that's what you have to acknowledge. Because those are, I mean, pretty much that's how your mind is being shaped. That's why you have to acknowledge your culture as a spiritual being. And I'll talk about spirituality shortly. You have to go beyond your culture because every culture is biased. Yours is gonna be better than mine. His is gonna be better than hers. Whatever the fuck. Or if it's not better, that's the only thing you know. Well, therefore, your life is constructed on in those patterns. And if your mind is being controlled, how can you even claim to become mentally balanced? Because you don't have any self mastery. You're not even thinking for yourself. So being mentally balanced, it involves a lot, pretty much you becoming aware of your mind, your environment, and everything. So it's more consciousness, having a clear thinking and clear understanding of yourself. Because ultimately, what you're truly doing, to be honest, is having a deeper understanding of who you are. And with that being said, my friend, I mean, in so many words, I mean, I just told you what spirituality is as well. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I mean, it's all related. But going back to pretty much being mentally balanced, that's why it's important for you to be, it's almost like you being an American and not being an American at the same time. Meaning, okay, I didn't put myself here to be born. I mean, it is what it is. Or even you can say you did, depending on what level you're referring to. But nevertheless, when you hear, you know, there's another responsibility. Do you see what I'm saying? That's when you get to realize, oh shit, people are people. And then when you truly understand, culture too, then you get to understand certain people think that a certain way because of their culture. So for you to become the Christ-like, to have the ultimate self consciousness, that's why you have to embrace all of it. You cannot be one sided. And for you not to be one sided, that's you seeing the bigger picture. That's why I always tell people wisdom is wisdom, regardless of where it comes from. Unless you choose to be on one side. But if wisdom is what you're seeking for, my friend, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. But anyway, just to summarize, that's pretty much what I do as a spiritual healer. Now, if you're coming back, you already know. You already know. You do know, mother. Fucking know. I know you know. I know you know, and I know you know that I know that you know it's love, baby. Welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you guys back. You already know what to expect every time you come here. And as far as I go, listen, man, each one teach one. This is my reward in itself. It's like I get to live like I'm living good. I get to really do the shit that I really love. Listen, And but most importantly, seeing how important this is, because essentially our essence is we are this living mind. That's why for me this job is it's just I mean it's I feel bigger than the fucking president, to be honest. Yeah, I feel that way. I truly do. Like, Mr. President, your job ain't shit. Fuck out of here. This is the work. Because this also embraces whoever the fuck you are. Because ultimately this is our essence. And I love doing the work of God, baby. But anyway, it's a pleasure to have you guys back. Now, as part of my process, for those of you who are coming back, you already know. But if this is your first time, as a spiritual healer, spirituality is the foundation. It's what I use, for me to, it's pretty much it's where I get my understanding from. So this wisdom that I'm sharing with you is out of spirituality. So with that being said, I like to be transparent. So it's only right for me to let you know a little bit about what spirituality is. That's only fair. I think it is. Now, when we're talking about spirituality, it is your essence. Because all we're doing, as we're going through this life, it's pretty much, I mean, consciously or subconsciously, it's you seeking for who you are. And if you don't know how to find it, then you look for it externally. But anyway, to make a long story short, when we're talking about spirituality, it is your essence. Now, the biggest misconception that a lot of people have about spirituality, and the reason why they always feel like it's outside of them, that's because it's out of ignorance. Meaning, most people have identified themselves with only their external aspect, neglecting or suppressing their whole spiritual being that pretty much embody that external um, circumstances. So the biggest misconception, just like I just mentioned, pretty much is out of ignorance, is that you don't see a connection to it because you don't see yourself as a spirit, you don't see yourself as a living mind. And I would have to say I came up with this fancy way of saying it, and I feel like a lot of people can actually relate. You only look at yourself as dick and pussy, bread and wine. That's what your life has consisted of. Pretty much your goal, pretty much, is just for you, let's just say, to go to high school, you go to college, you get married, you get kids, and then you save money, you get a house, and this is it. And I mean, unfortunately, I mean, this is also going back to how you've been trained to think. This is how a lot of people been trained to think. And when you're thinking on that level, now it's no coincidence why a lot of people pretty much are living their life based on who they should be instead of who they are. Oh, it's by design. There's no coincidence here. And of course, now, if anybody's talking about spirituality, how can you relate? Because you were never trained to look at yourself that way. So now there's something called the occult. The occult is a part of spirituality that has the manuscript, or that has those manual, same shit, or the understanding that helps you to have a better understanding of that invisible side of you. Another way of saying that, the occult now is that sacred knowledge that help you to have a deeper understanding of who you are. That's why you'll see some of the basic things you will learn about the occult. Again, this is all about self knowledge. It would let you know that you have a conscious mind and then you have a subconscious mind. The sub is underconscious, it's not truly anything you could see, but it's there. And it helps you to identify it, how you work, and all that shit. Again, it's simply giving you a deeper understanding of who you are. That's why dealing with the occult, you're dealing with, I don't want to say dark, I mean dark side of you, but not dark in the sense of Satan and all that shit, but dark in the sense of it's not out in the open. That's why this type of knowledge is always referring to as something that is hidden, it's sacred, it's a treasure, you gotta find it. Ugh. And that process of finding it pretty much involves you going inside of you becoming in alignment with you. So if you understand this, that's what spirituality is. Now, in addition to, another misconception, I should say, that people have about spirituality is that they look at it as a religious thing. Now, in the true meaning of what religion is, you are correct. But if you're talking about what we call religion, or what we currently call fucking religion, that's not it. Because you're looking at different belief systems. You're looking at Christians, then you're looking at I don't know, help me out here. Islam, then you're looking at Hinduism. Like you tend to, it's different belief systems. And I mean, spirituality embodies all of it, but it's not it. It's that and more. Now, the more aspect of it, think about, let's just say, like, okay, here's some of the basic understanding that you learn from the occult out of spirituality, which embraces it all, is that we tell you that your God creates your reality. But when you involve it in religion, you don't understand that. Meaning now, because we have the broader perspective, if I were to become a 7 day Adventist today, I'm changing my reality. Meaning Saturday now is going to have a whole different meaning than your Saturday. So now I have another set of reality that I go by because of the God that I'm now following, just like Christianity. Christianity is the only religion that does not accept other religions. And it's nothing that they're doing like by accident. It is even said that as that's part of their gods. Their gods let them know that we are the ultimate, the best God, and no other God matters. So therefore, we want to get other gods, I mean other people, and get them under our gods. So you follow that manuscript that is out of religious. Now, me being spiritual, I could see that your God is creating your reality. And because that's what your God said, and that's what you do. What is the number one thing all Christians always do? Whenever they say something, they're going to pull out the Bible. That is their to go. I mean, your God creates your reality. I'm not here to say if this is good or bad. If you're into Hinduism, it's the same thing. Then you become a little more open, or if you're into Buddhism, and if you know anything about what their God said, they don't say that their God is the best God. Therefore, they don't behave that way. That's why I always tell people choose your God. So this is where spirituality embodies it all. But above it all, it is your essence, my friend. Whether you choose to be religious or not. Now, going back to the term religion. Now, the true meaning of what religious is, like I am a religious man. The true meaning simply means what we do, we take the divine and we make it in human form. Oh, I'm all about that because I know my essence. And this is the shit I'm talking about any fucking way. You see what I'm saying? Yo, yo, you see what I'm saying? That's your life. Now the term spiritual now, that's when you start to activate or you start to acknowledge that spirit in you. Then now you understand, listen, you more than dick and pussy. And then at that point, what do you do? Oh, you meditate sometimes. You understand, yo, it's important for me to meditate. I gotta stay connected. Oh, bro, you're doing good, baby. You're doing good. Then you understand you have a third eye, for you to open up your or to enhance your consciousness, then it's important for you to open up your third eye because now you become more receptive to energy, to intelligence, or if you want to say to downloads, to revelation. It's all the same shit. But that has to do with how open you are to it. Then you understand your intuition, your chakras, and all that shit. And then now you start to acknowledge these things. Mm, you're doing wonderful. So that's spirituality for that ass. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of our wisdom actually, as stated, now we're gonna delve into the motherfucking occult, and we're gonna, do what we do. So in the past few recordings, guys, I've been talking about recuperate your self-esteem. Because another thing about spirituality, and I want to link this, I want to link that to it, it's you now dealing with the self, with the spirit within. So you to acknowledge these things, you have to acknowledge those divine qualities in you, meaning your self-esteem is part of it, your intuition, self-respect, self-love. You have to nurture or cultivate these things in you. So self-esteem plays a big part. I mean, self-esteem. I mean, if you now, let's just say you are becoming in alignment with the self, because now at this point you understand or trying to get to know your true nature, or you becoming more conscious of who you are, because that's what self-consciousness is. And that's how knowing the truth is going to set you free, by you understanding that you are more than dick and pussy. Oh, guess what? What is the number one thing that people are talking about now? You could manifest. Did you manifest this? Did you manifest that? Think about it and you can attract it. So, in other words, we say it in a lot of our, let's just say, verbiage, or in a lot of our verbiage, I guess, or communications, but unaware of our true essence. That's why I always tell people seek the kingdom of God, meaning seek your true essence, and everything else will open up to you. You know, and even when if you pay close attention, even when people are talking about the law of manifestation, right? Okay, you got to learn how to manifest. I mean, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. I mean, all of that, all of those problems. And but the bottom line is everybody manifests. You're already manifesting if you truly understand your essence. Now, the problem that a lot of people now are having with not necessarily the law of manifestation because you're already manifesting is now you want to change what you are already manifesting. In other words, that's what Jesus meant by you want to pour new wine in old bottles. That's why it's not going to work. That's why that kind of shit is bandages. Just bandage. I mean, okay, you're not treating. You know what I'm saying? It's not it. It's good. It's good. I mean, you may start there just to acknowledge there's more to you than what you appear to be. That's the name of the game. In that sense, yes, but don't stop there. Go to the essence because you got to say to yourself, if I could fucking manifest, what the fuck does that say about me? Again, you see the self, and there's no way you're gonna have any type of self-esteem without the self being in question. I know. That's, yeah, it's that way. So that's why for me, if let's just say in the society that we're actually living in, I don't even call it a low self-esteem. Like you don't have any esteem at all. It's a no self-esteem to me. That's why now living in a world like as such, it's only right. It's by design. You got to keep up with the Joneses. If I don't see quality in me, so now it's got to be what I have. And that what you have and all these things, now you become concerned with your self-image, not your self-esteem. So now when you're concerned with the self-image, you don't have no acceptance for yourself. I mean, shit. It kind of go hand in hand for me. And that's why I always tell you guys, it doesn't matter how much you see if you're looking at it from the wrong angle. You could talk about ego all day long, and I listen to a lot of people talk about ego and all that shit. And if you don't understand, your ego is not the issue. It's the knowledge that you're feeding yourself. That's the fucking issue. I mean, how can you not? Let's just say, and by the way, everybody has a fucking ego. But how would you not have an ego if you are? I mean, it's a competitive world, and I'll show you, and I can assure you, the minute you go into yourself, you're not competing with no fucking body. Your ego is gone. In other words, it's not gone. Your ego now is protecting you in a whole different way. Because all your ego does is your protection. And that's why you have to understand again the science of ignorance. I mean, if you worry about your self image, then you wouldn't want people to see the true you. You want them to see the best image as possible, but not the true you. That's why without yourself, if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. You can't. Without your self acceptance and self love, you got nothing. There's no self fulfillment. You're not fulfilling in the inside. That's why you got to keep looking outside. And that, oh boy, that's the never ending cycle. And that's why in this world, accomplishments, I mean, you're never going to be happy. It's simple math, man. You're never going to be happy. And if you're not happy with little, well, I'm sorry, man. Doesn't matter how much you got. No wonder why in this society, to, I mean, for you to feel important, then now that's why you worshiping idols. Now your self-worth becomes it's in what you have. Now you may think you're talking about self-esteem, but truly the self is not truly involved here. You're dealing with self-image, and that's fucking you up. This is where, you know, jealousy, envious, all of these things come from. Now, as part of you as a spiritual being doing your shadow work or being in this journey, or to become in alignment or even to attain your highest level of self consciousness, you have to become in alignment with the self. So that's why your self esteem plays a big part. Follow the things that you love. That alone is going to open up a whole other part of you. Because the thing about following the shit that you love, it transforms you. That's the transformation. That's how you go from being a little man or from a child to a boy. But most importantly, just like they say, the thing about accomplishment, it's not what you get, it's who you become. If you used to be fat, then now you lose weight. It's the mind, it's the self mastery that you have applied. Self disciple, you become your self disciple. The discipline is who you have become. That's why they say a strong mind, a strong body. Do you see what I'm trying to tell you? But now, that's why self esteem plays a big part. Now, how do you even get to your self esteem if you're not accepting yourself? Do you see where I'm trying to go with that? You gotta accept yourself, baby. Trust me. It could be hard, I guess, depending on how far deep you are in in the rabbit hole. And the good thing about it too, I mean, listen, man, it's a marathon. You know, you got time. As long as you are moving, but you got to move it in the right direction, which is becoming in alignment with you. And you have to have self love and self acceptance. Now, the one thing I noticed, there's a misconception when we're talking about self love, self care, you know, quite sometimes or a lot of times, people tend to look at it as being selfish and not truly understanding what it really entails. Some people are givers, which is good, you know, but if you're always giving, I mean, where do you actually replenish yourself? To give is to receive, and to receive is actually to give. Actually, that's why self-love, it makes you a better giver. It's contrary to what I mean, because selfish, and here's something else too. When you're dealing with selfishness, you're dealing with, yes, it is a part of you, but that's only concerned with the external, with the benefit. Whereas when you're talking about self-love, now this is new nurturing your inner qualities, your divine qualities. This is you having compassion for yourself. Because part of, I mean, if you don't have it for yourself, you're not going to have it for anybody else. So the key thing here is that, listen, it starts with you and it ends with you. You want to change the world, make the world a better place? Well, look at the men in the mirror. Because after all, it's all of us that got to make it better. Or let's just say, if I want it to be better, well, I got to start acting better. It's not going to happen by fucking so. Come on, man. You see what I'm saying? Oh man, you guys are cracking me up. This is it's crazy. So that's why the whole idea, like I always say, people feel like it's politically correct to downplay yourself just so you could be a humble, or you sound, it's just political bullshit, because there's nothing good without you. You are the key fucking ingredient. And just like I was talking about when I was talking about self image, if that's what you go by, how do you open to somebody else? You're not going to be open to somebody else, because now it's different. You would have to be intimate with that person. Now you're going to have to talk about you, the true you, the part of you, I mean, who's hurt, but who's not afraid to show it. But for you to do that, you would have to deal with the self, man. You got to deal with the self. That's why, like, that's why there's no love. I mean, a lot of people get marriages. People get married, but they don't love each other. And marriage has got nothing to do with love either. Absolutely nothing to do with love. But again, now going back to the whole, I mean, even, I mean, shit, like, I'm saying to myself, how can I dumb this down? I feel like I'm at the lowest here. Help, help. Do you see what I'm saying? So therefore, for you to have self-esteem, you gotta accept yourself. And there's also, by self-acceptance, well, guess what? There's a chain of event that's going to take place. Now, by you doing by you accepting the self, now you are creating a whole different reality, and vice versa too. When you choose to go by your self-image, you have also created a different reality, and that's what, if you want to call it the matrix, that's what the matrix is. The world that you created out of your lower self, out of ignorance. This is just niggas watching the games and all that, and this is all their life consists of. They don't see anything else. I mean, just dick and pussy. And of course, now if you see me talking about spirituality, like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? You know what I'm saying? Shit. This motherfucker must be wild. And guess what? You're right. You're right. So now, one of the biggest misconception I realize that people have about when I'm talking about self-acceptance, they think when you're talking about self-acceptance, it's almost like you are settling for less. It means it's almost like it's a hard stop. And my friend, that is absurd. That is totally wrong. I mean, how, how did you come up with that? I'm curious. I am curious. I mean, have you ever heard of the saying that says, well, if you don't know where you're from, you don't know where you're going? That's why a lot of niggas who actually made it out of the fucking project, they knew they were living in the project. That's why they did everything they can to get the fuck out of there. You see what I'm saying? If you don't take that accountability, then the projects become just another, you know what I'm saying? This is it for you. So it's totally crazy to think when you accept anything, acceptance, it's powerful because accepting yourself, and here's something else too. It doesn't mean like stagnation got nothing to do with that. Au contraire, it's totally different. Because by you being in alignment or accepting yourself, what you're doing is you get to see all aspect of yourself. You're not suppressing anything. That's why when you have self-acceptance, you don't blame yourself. But when you are under your self-image, then you always suppress and blaming yourself. And when you blame yourself, that's truly where you don't accomplish anything. That in itself puts you in a cycle of failure. I talked about haters. When you're dealing with haters, envious people, jealous motherfuckers, those are your haters. Do you know? Have you ever realized a hater have ever changed? Like if you working on you, you don't have time to hate. So when you blaming yourself, if you're already blaming yourself, you don't really have room to better yourself. I mean, it's just what it is. I'm just giving you, let's just say, the knowledge or the wisdom behind what you call your fucking haters. I mean, because I really I scan through them. I know them for who they are, truly are, and all of that is because they're not dealing with their true essence. And there's a mentality that comes with that. A hater, pretty much, they're saying to themselves, you know what? I don't have it. You can't have it. That's why a hater always looking for ways to sabotage whatever the fuck you got going on. But also the way they look at life, it's like it's crazy. It's almost these motherfuckers. It's like I'm gonna start. It's like they're saying to themselves, I'm gonna start eating healthy when I lose weight. It's like they're saying, you know what? I'm gonna water the plant after the plant becomes a plant. They only look at the end results. They never see the amount of work that you're putting in because that would require for you to see the self. And they are totally a total stranger to what the self is. But now when you have it, because that's the image that they go by, then now they don't have it. So the only way they always look at it, and if you listen to a lot of haters, they're always gonna tell you this such and such is lucky because it's all luck. It cannot be work because they're not dealing with the self, with themselves, or with the self in themselves. Oh, you gotta understand the science of those haters, man. That's how I can see them clearly, and I'm exposing them too. I'm exposing a whole bunch of shit. That's why you call them crabs in the barrel, right? They're always pulling you down. How dare you being smart? Be stupid like us. Stupid, stupid, stupid. That's what they advocate for, stupidity. Because you got to understand, it's the image. So now that you have it, they don't have it. You're gonna become better than them, and to be better than them, that means because of what you have, because of the look that you're getting, maybe because of the fame that you have. Oh, that shit goes deep. Those haters goes deep, and that's why I'm telling you. And because they have not accepted themselves, there's nothing. I mean, it's a cycle of failure. Whereas on the flip side of it, now if you're fucking with yourself, it's different. Self acceptance also mean you see yourself, you see your strength, and you see your weaknesses. From if you're blaming yourself, you only see the weakness in you. If you all weak, man, how do you get better? That's why to them it's pointless to do anything good, but they will do everything just to fuck you up. You got on shit, man. Take notes, man. I'm giving you that sight, baby. Get your medicine. When you go for a job, right? Let's just say you're going for a job interview. They would ask you what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. This is also revealing how much of a balanced person that you are. But for you to see your strength and your weakness, you have to accept yourself, man. And ironically, as you do so, that's what's going to lead you to change. And also, when you accept your weaknesses, it doesn't make you worthless. You simply understand, hey man, that's just the way it is. Welcome to humanity, motherfucker. It just is what it is. Now let me focus more on my strength. Now your weaknesses, it's not a fucking issue. You're not blaming yourself. You acknowledge it as part of humanity. You have good and bad. You choose to be good or you choose to be bad. Then that's when you understand it's all part of you. Now, when you understand that, that's what's going to lead you to change. That's what's going to lead you to take action. That's what taking accountability, that's the starting point. That's what you're following. So self acceptance, contrary to to what you think, it's the only way for you to grow. So it's not like that fucking. It's not a hard stop. It's not you settling for less. It's none of that bullshit. You're looking at it sideways. Well, look again, motherfucker. You're looking at the lady in the red dress. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at her ass. You know what I mean? So everything is you gotta praise the self. And self-acceptance, when you start having that in yourself, that's what allows you to have compassion for other people. That's what allows you to love other people. Because now you see the divine quality in you. If I were to step on you, how do you feel? I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt you. But if it's all your intellect, you don't take the emotion into consideration. So what? I step on your shoes, motherfucker. You better watch your feet. You know what I'm saying? You better watch your feet, motherfucker. So again, self-acceptance is everything. Not to mention, well, I mean that's because we want to get you into your self-esteem now. We got to start somewhere. Right? Right? But when you start doing that, just like I was saying, contrary to what a lot of people think in terms of it's a hard stop, it's stagnation, you're not going to go anywhere, you're settling for less. That's not true. You can only go further by knowing what you have. That's why gratitude is powerful. It's your starting point. It's you being happy with little. And if you're happy with little, guess what, motherfucker? Those small actions, you're going to start taking small actions because now you are nourishing yourself. And as you're nourishing yourself, the mind's going to get stronger. Your essence, your inner, let's just say, your self esteem is going to grow. It's going to start growing now. That's why for me, like like I am so fulfilled in the inside when somebody, if you were to say anything about me, okay, I, right, I mean, okay. Do you see what I'm saying? Why would I argue with your perspective? It's yours. Have at it. You know what I'm saying? In fact, shit, you come better. You know what I'm saying? Go get some more. And out of that, you develop your self confidence. But you can't do any of it without your self acceptance and self love. Now, the self love comes in, you nourish that. That's how you're nourishing it. You got to nourish it. Remember, I mean, you want to get a plant, and then after the plant, you're going to start watering it. It doesn't work that way. And that's why the haters, they are in a failing cycle. That's how the people that hate on other people never accomplish anything. If I'm fucking lying, I'm flying. You show me a hater that has accomplished anything. It's always the motherfucker with the lowest life that talk about other people, but they're hiding their true life. Hoes and prostitute and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Scheming, thief, and all that shit. They're hiding all that shit. And then I'm better than you. Hey, what? Yeah. Delusional ass motherfucker. So there's no accomplishment at all. There's nothing. Because now, you're looking at other people as being lucky, and that's where the hate comes from. And because you don't have it, and they're all so lucky, you deserve to have it. Like some kitty shit. That's mine. I deserve to have it. Let me get it from you. You know what I'm saying? I can't get it myself. I gotta steal it. That's because you worth nothing. That couldn't be me. That's because you're worth nothing. But if you're worth everything, if a next man can do it, so are you. If anything, that other men doing it, that is your confirmation to let you know that you can do it too. It doesn't have to be the same shit, whatever the fuck you want to do. And that's what all of us who's pretty much in alignment with the self, that's what we do. You follow your path. And that's when your self-fulfillment, everything is gonna come into like listen, there's it's only success on that side. It's only success. So no, self-acceptance got nothing to do with a hard stop. It's not you not going any further. In fact, that's what allows you to go further. Because now, as you're nourishing yourself, you're developing your self confidence, and that's how you get better. Now this is you watering the seed so it becomes a plant. You don't wait for the plant. You're not going to get a plant and then you're going to water it afterwards. It doesn't work that way. That's like, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why for me, man, because that's why I understand the mind of a hater, because I've been around a bunch of these motherfuckers. You're like, oh, that's how you feel? It's almost like you never do shit. Well, you know anything or anybody who don't do shit who get shit? That's why these motherfuckers don't want to change. They don't want to be better. But that has to do with their self image. And because now you don't have what you think you're supposed to have, so now you're blaming yourself. And as you're blaming yourself, there's no quality in you. I mean, it's like it's you going in the bottom of the pit, like the bottom, like the fucking abyss. It's like you going. I mean, that's the cycle of failure too. Like you doing you. I mean, shit. Like you incredible, incredibly lost, incredibly failing. That's not even an F. That's a Z. Nigga, that's a Z. Yeah. You got a Z on your report card, man. Not even failure. Like I don't know what the fuck that is. And because of that self image, and that's how you have created that reality for you, consciously or subconsciously, doesn't matter, or unconsciously, I should say. And that's why me as a spiritual healer is to enable you. That's the sight that I'm giving to you. I'm helping you to get out of that cycle. by helping you to start to see or to identify the God within. Or let's just say, let's just accepting the self for now. Let's not, okay. Hey, we got all day. We got another day. I got other videos too. There's no, we're not gonna rush into anything here. Self acceptance. We gotta start there, baby. We gotta start somewhere. Just like when we talk about accountability. Well, how do you take accountability without yourself? And sometimes, I know a lot of us would like to call how seeing how people are delusional or or karmic people, whatever term you use for these people. You gotta see beyond those terms because ultimately we are dealing with either somebody else's shadow or you're dealing with their true self and their shadow at the same time. That's why self-love, is very important because it gives you the ability to look at yourself from different angles. And just like I stated before, and I'm gonna say it again, your weakness it's not doesn't make you worthless. It's just part of you. It's truly what people mean when it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like, oh my God, you can't sleep at night or now you're ashamed. No. It's just part of you, man. Welcome to humanity, motherfucker. Nobody's perfect. I mean, nobody's flawless. Because perfection to me has a whole different meaning. You need to become perfect. And that perfection entails you embracing your masculinity and your femininity, them coming together. To be perfect is to be whole, but flawless is something else. So none of us is flawless. And in fact, that flaws, I mean, we need a little bit of flaws so we could see shit a little bit better. You see how when you not one-sided, when you blaming yourself, you only see like the negativity in you. Then you become one-sided. That's why the statement that says, those who says, let's say I can, and those who said I can't. I mean, that's spirituality too. You're both right because now we understand your essence and how you are the creator. That's why spirituality is not against, let's just say, religion as we know it today, but it is the key to help them to understand it better because they don't understand it. They talk about Jesus, but they're not living Jesusly. You're not living like Jesus. And we all know, like, talk is cheap. But walking the path, though, because what made Jesus what it wasn't just the talk that he was talking about. It was that too. But he was walking that light. That's why he said, if you want to be like me, you have to pick up your own cross. So there's no benefit in talking about Jesus if you're not going to act like Jesus. That's why your spirituality has to be materialized. That's why you have to become the testimony for the divine. I am an ambassador, nigga. Let's the motherfucker's passport. Let me see your passport, bitch. Mm. Let me see your motherfucking passport. That's what makes me the way. You know what I'm saying? Okay, come get your medicine, man. Don't got it, baby. I got it for you. There's absolutely no benefit in suppressing yourself. And no, it doesn't make you cocky. Now when you're talking about cockiness and all that shit, again, you're dealing with self images. But when you're dealing with the self, you're talking about life knowledge. This is the type of understanding now that you understand we all need each other, man. That's the type of understanding that, let's just say, if I'm a millionaire and you're not, I don't think I'm better than you, and vice versa. Or if I'm poor, you're a millionaire, nigga, I don't think you're better than me, because now I'm looking at you from a different perspective, from within. And here's something else. Now, if you're not looking at it from within, that's why Jesus was saying, in so many words, you know, what would it gain? I mean, because think about it. If you're dying right now, I'll give you $1 million, and you're dying right now. Is that really helpful? You see what I'm saying? It's like that's why I try to let people know fame, money, and it's always secondary, because you have people that have a lot of money who is not happy, bro. I mean, do I even have to say that? 50 Cent said it best. I mean, before, look at the title of his first album, Get Rich or Die Trying. Then now the motherfuckers making millions. Like, yo, man, that's not what I thought it was. And then he also said it too. He had to pay for his fucking success too, because he was going through some shit with his son. I mean, his baby, he lost his baby mama. Like, you know what I'm saying? This shit happens. I'm saying that to say it's the state of mind. That's why success is always secondary, because if you're not in a good state of mind, having $1 million means nothing. If you're sick like a dog and Drake is here, we have a party. Drake is right here, dog. This motherfucker don't mean nothing to you, man. Oh, yeah, Drake, okay. Next time. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's why success is you first. How happy are you? And that's what determines your success. Then now, shit, give me $1 million. I'm already happy. Now we're gonna make the best out of that $1 million. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have people who have millions, millionaire, who are who are killing themselves. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot out there. So again, by you accepting yourself, nourishing yourself, loving yourself, you are developing your inner strength. And that's out of that inner strength, that's you when you're gonna build your self-confidence. And that's when, out of that self confidence, now you understand you're gonna have to create your boundaries, and all that shit, all this good shit comes out of it. Listen, you become in fucking alignment. Now your words are like, it's like a lion warring now. You're making noises out here. Come on, man. Turn up and turn out, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're showing up and showing out. Now you're making it count. You understand the party doesn't start without you, baby. I'm the fucking party. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Until I show up, I heard you have a beautiful party, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm bringing the party to the party. But we gotta have that self acceptance, man. So we're gonna live it here. Always remember, listen, if you're not being true to yourself, you're always gonna be false to somebody else. Don't cheat yourself, but love yourself. You feel me? And for you to be yourself, no one else can be around. And this is not dealing with selfishness, because selfishness is when you're concerned with only the benefit of the external shit. Now, what you're doing here is that you are delving inside of you, you're making it stronger. So now you become a better vessel for other people. And that's what it means for you to love somebody else. You first got to love yourself. I sent Mali.